Good afternoon, Dr. Buddy.
Good evening. How are you?
Okay.
So we are going to go ahead and get started. So good evening, everybody. We'll make just a general remark before we go through with discussing a few things for middle school. If this meeting is only for scholars in 6 through 8 general ed, so if you have a scholar that is in any of our middle school gifted classes, just touch base with their teacher. This meeting is not for any gifted scholars in middle school. This is only for our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade general ed scholars and, our special ed 6th, 7th, and 8th grade scholars. So just want to make sure that I have been looking in the list, just did not want to miss anybody and have them sit on a meeting that they did not need to be a part of. So definitely want to talk through a couple of things with you, just to kind of let everyone know where we are in terms of our planning. So as everyone should know, the district has done a phased-in approach to get scholars back in school. About 85 to 90% of our scholars at Wade Park are returning for hybrid. So we have very few scholars that are planning to stay virtual. That's not a surprise to us. That was really what we had initially predicted coming into this month. Definitely want to talk through some challenges just with the framework that the district outlined. So the district and CTU, the teacher union. All right, let's try this again. All right, so the district and CTU, the teacher union, worked and agreed upon a plan for scholars to return. One component of that plan was that teachers would not be required to teach scholars in person and scholars at home at the same time. So definitely upon reading that, I knew that was going to be a challenge for us because our special ed middle school, our special ed intervention specialists, we have two. We have Ms. Brodnick and we have Ms. Barnett. And then our core middle school team, we have 4 teachers. Each of them teach their own subject. So the initial request to the district was, well, if we have 85 to 90% of our scholars returning to school, and we have to keep each room, we have a room capacity for each room to keep scholars 6 feet apart, you're gonna have to send us more teachers so that when the kids are home, they can get those 2 days of instruction. Now, district-wide, there have been a lot of spots in the district where other schools are also having similar challenges with just a high number of scholars returning to school and just the available number of teachers and substitutes in the pool. The nicest way to clean that up, they don't have enough substitutes or teachers available to make that plan work for every district. So I know leaving my staffing meeting Friday evening with talent, there was over 130 vacancies for subs. 7 of those were for Wade Park, and three or four of those vacancies was specifically to meet our need for middle school. So where we are now, definitely did not want to wait up until Sunday night to have to call an emergency meeting with all of our middle school parents. We really charged our middle school team to come up with different scenarios, how we can make this work with over 115 middle school scholars returning to Wade Park. And then once again, keeping in mind, we have gone through every classroom in the building and there is a room capacity that includes scholars and teacher that we cannot go over. So we charged the middle school team to come up with different scenarios. We met, and the best scenario to make for us to accommodate all of our scholars and to be able to, once again, social distance, we are going to have scholars come on half days. So let me explain how this would work. And I'll just preference this by saying, I know there are some parents that are needing and or relying on older sibling to go to school on the same day as younger sibling to walk them home and that sort of thing. So we know there's some families that we will need to have some individual conversations with after this meeting to see what we can work out. So we've uploaded, but I'm gonna kind of just talk you through it, and then definitely we'll open it up for questions, concerns. Because like I said, we've met with the team, we've gone over different scenarios, and this is right now with us just not having the staff provided from the district. This is the best that we are able to do at this moment to accommodate all of our scholars. So if my scholar is in sixth grade, and on Monday they're scheduled to start in the morning, they would come to school from 8 to 10:30. And then they would have their lunch as they walk out the door, which is like their lunch break, their brain break. And then the afternoon for that scholar would be independent learning time, completing activities. So let's say that's Monday. On Tuesday, that sixth grade scholar would come to the 12 o'clock time. So we'll have scholars every day coming 8 to 10:30, and then the next group 12 to 2:30. Now, why do we do it like that versus just saying, well, if I'm a sixth grade scholar, I come every day at 8 o'clock. Just talking with some students and then just really knowing our students, most of our scholars would have selected the 12 o'clock block because they like to sleep in versus having to come to school at 8 o'clock. So pretty much it would be, once again, using the sixth grade example. On Monday, I would come to school at 8. I'm done at 10:30. Obviously, I get breakfast. I get lunch as I leave out the door. The next day, I would come to school at 12 and leave at 2:30. So let me pull up, and this is already live on our website. So let me show you, one, where you can find it, two, just kind of the breakdown, and we do have all the kids listed. Definitely, if by mistake we missed your scholar's name, let us know, but you can, we do have a hybrid learning site set up on our school website. So clevelandmetroschools.org/Wade Park or clevelandmetroschools.org/reopen hybrid. So when you come on our school website, right below the scrolling picture, you see hybrid learning, or you can click either one on the left-hand side. So once I click on it, you have a welcome, you have helpful parent information, teacher weekly schedule, class rosters. Now, please know we have not gone back to fix the middle school class rosters based on what we're sharing with parents tonight. So that will be fixed. But right here, we have a separate tab for middle school. So if I click on the detailed schedule, please note at the bottom, you would look for whatever grade level your scholar is in. So 6th, 7th, and then we have an 8A, and you should know an 8A and an 8B. So there's 2 sections for 8th grade. Now, if you don't know which section your scholar is in, the top tab, the teachers have already put the scholars in here so they know exactly how their week would flow, and it really would not change. So like, once again, if they start an AM on Monday, on Tuesday, they're PM. And then Thursday is AM, and then Friday would be PM, and then vice versa. So through the hybrid learning time, scholars they still don't have class on Wednesdays. Those are still independent learning days. Yes, they do get attendance credit for Wednesday. So that is a day for them to get caught up on assignments. Teachers still do have the ability, especially now with us coming back in the building, to have your scholar come up to get some additional support. But Wednesday is still an independent learning day. So once again, we do have, you click on each tab and they do have it color coded for you. It does have the list of names and how they would start, obviously their week. Then, as I said, for 8th grade, we do have 2 8th grade sections. So an 8A and then an 8B. And once again, with the example that I gave, not saying that that's how 6th grade starts a week, but just an example I gave, each day, once again, there's an AM and a PM group. They don't do the same thing in a row. Once again, we are fully aware that we have some families that have some circumstances where they need their scholar to come the exact days as the younger sibling. So definitely if that's your situation, on, if you don't have my number, on this page, the hybrid learning page under the welcome, please just shoot me an email, because we know we do need to have some of those conversations starting tomorrow with some families. And as we shared, this was never our first plan. This is probably option C from what the team came up with. As I mentioned, multiple meetings with talent. The meetings are still ongoing, but as of Friday night, when they called me back at 6:30 to give an update, there was literally 130 sub requests district wide. So this is an ongoing thing. I'll just say this, the district right now is pulling employees that work at central office, I work at the headquarters downtown, and an East professional. If they have a teaching certificate, they are being sent back to teach for the rest of the school year. So the district is going through all employees in headquarters and East professional. If they have a teacher certificate, they're being sent to teach. So is there a slight possibility that they will find us a minimum of 3 teachers between now and Monday? Yes. But for us, just with the number of vacancies and the number, just everything going on right now, we did not want to be flat-footed and this be a Sunday night conversation. So just know, if and when the district does find us teachers, certified teachers, or great substitutes, we will have another conversation to tweak this plan, because like I said, our plan was never to have scholars come in half days. So at this time, if there's any, before we open up to any parents, is there any middle school teacher that wants to chime in? Because definitely you guys were part of.
Hi, Dr. Buddy. This is Mr. Parks.
Right, sir.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Parks. I teach middle school 8A. I'm homeroom 8A. And one of the thoughts is that we are definitely going to see your scholar every day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. They're going to be in school based upon the schedule. So I'll just go 6th grade once again. They will have science and ELA on Monday. And then on Tuesday, they're going to have math and social studies. So they're going to be serviced every day. They're going to get all instruction in all classes. And just to balance it out, once again, they'll just come in in the morning for 2 hours, and then in the afternoon for 2 hours as well. They'll get a breakfast, and they'll get a lunch on their way out. And the kids will, once again, they'll get their 2 meals as prescribed by federal guidelines. Thank you.
So at this time, let me, okay, so definitely want to open it up for any parent that has a question, general concern. Definitely, if it's a specific case for your family, you can text or call me or email me so we can call you tomorrow. But we'll go ahead and open it up at this time for any parent.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing? Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
We
This is
can.
Dr. Buddy.
Hey, good
Okay,
evening.
I'm sorry about that. This is Dravion and Charles Walker's mom. I missed the beginning part of the meeting, so I was trying to get a understanding of what I had missed.
So I won't go back through the whole like context. Like we did record this,
Right.
we'll post it, but pretty
Okay.
much we don't, the district has not provided the additional teachers that we need to make the in-person 2 days and then the other 2 days hybrid at home. So we are
Okay.
gonna have students on a half-day schedule every single day. So so if your child had to come like Monday for the AM session, which is 8 a.m. to 10:30, on Tuesday, they would come for the 12 o'clock session. So they kind of flip
Okay.
flop every day just to kind of make it fair. Just because we know most of our scholars, if we gave them a chance to vote or to, give their really input on it, most scholars would choose the 12 o'clock session so they could sleep in.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Buddy.
and definitely, as I mentioned, I mean, there is a possibility between now and, the kickoff of this on Sunday that it would change, meaning they give us the teachers that we've asked for. Definitely, if that happens, we will reach out to pivot back to our initial plan or better plan. This was not, option A or B for us here at Wade Park.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Buddy.
You're welcome.
This is Miss Ivory. I teach math, but I don't know if it was explained that the 2 days that your student in the original setup, the 2 days that your student would have been at home working remotely, they would have been working with an actual teacher on Zoom. And that's part of the issue. I don't know if that was kind of explained and understood, but we don't have those teachers to do that part, which kind of led us to here. I don't remember if we said
Thank you
anything
for saying
about that.
And I'll just say this, and I think another plus, just trying to find positives out of it, a plus, some of our scholars do not do well with change. And I'll just say this, I mean, if they had provided, 3 subs, they would have had brand new teachers during the virtual piece. So we did kind of talk through that too. Even if, moving forward, we do get the subs, how we can kind of transition our scholars in, because I mean, our 4 core middle school teachers plus Ms. Brodnick and Ms. Barnett, kids are, are used to their structures, their routines, and definitely, going into April, them having to adjust the 3 new teachers was also something that we've been considering and we would consider moving forward. So definitely just want to also share that too. Now, I will say I did see a parent come on here earlier that is their child's in a gifted middle school class. That's a separate conversation. So if your child's in gifted, please just speak with that teacher because that's a self-contained class. That's a different situation. So definitely I know there may be still one on here that's in gifted, but please just know any 6 through 8 gifted, please touch base with your child's teacher for your schedule, because that's a self-contained class. That's a different situation. Any other general questions?
I have a question.
Hey.
So, instead of them doing if I'm getting it, the whole thing right, instead of them doing the 2 days, like the Thursday, Friday, they're coming to school Monday, Tuesday, then Thursday and Friday. Am I correct?
Yeah, Amir will come to school every single day, whether it be at AM or PM. So please, and I will say this, I'm glad you lifted that. Anyone that came on late, the information is already live on our school website. So please go ahead and look at it. It is a live document. So as we make changes, it will automatically update. Definitely, if by chance we missed your scholar, please let us know. But we do have on there, if you click the top link, so school website, clevelandmetroschools.org/Wade Park, look for hybrid learning, and you'll see the middle school link. The top link on that page has all of the kids and which AM and PM for each day with their name listed. So the middle school team really worked to try to make it as easy as possible so that scholars and parents knew their days and times that they had to come. So once you look at it, definitely if there are additional questions, let us know. And then parents with any like specific issues, because there's another sibling in the building, please just reach out to us so we can see what, what support we can provide. It's just like I said, right now, we don't have many options. Just keep it, putting it as nicely as possible.
Elisa had a question.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes. I got 2 students there, and from what I'm hearing today, you still don't have a concrete plan for what it is that you're doing. And that's hard for me to function this way, because I'm trying to understand this and get through this. When will you know exactly?
So no, if we, right now, as we speak, we called this meeting on a Tuesday because as of, I'll say this, last week, Monday, just based on the district's timeline, last week, Monday, principals were supposed to get their notification of the additional staff members they were gonna get last Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, leading into Friday evening, chasing out anyone I could find in talent to get a final answer. Because at that point, some principals, they had told them, oh, you're not getting anybody, your request is denied. Our situation was a little different because they could look at the number of scholars we had returning. So it wasn't like I was just making up numbers to say I wanted extra staff. So going into Friday evening, it wasn't a no, it was, we don't have enough staff, we're trying to work something out, we'll get back to you. And then Friday evening was the first time I learned of there was literally 130 open sub-requests district-wide, 7 of which was for Wade Park. So when we met with the middle school team, we understand that parents need to plan within work schedule and everything else. So this plan that we have posted, that is our plan. I was just throwing out there is a slim chance between now and the start of hybrid on March 22nd that the district could find us the 3 teachers we asked for. And if so, we might need to pivot back to our initial plan. Now, slim chance meaning less than 10%, and that's probably a high number just with the number of requests in the system. So we have a plan. It's not necessarily our first option. This was literally probably option C or D just when we went back looking at how we can make it work. So I was just sharing just to be transparent. If by chance they find us 3 teachers, then we would need to have another conversation again.
Hi, this is Erica, Trinity and Paris mom.
Hello.
I was curious. I don't know if I was listening correctly, but my daughter will be there in the morning on Monday and Thursday. So after they get out, and do they come back home and they get back online to finish the rest of their classes, or are they doing virtual, or they doing their work on their own afterwards?
So that was part of my initial context, just sharing out like the agreement that was made between the district and the union. Teachers do not have to teach simultaneously at the same time, meaning like in person and on Zoom at the same time. So as a result of that, once your scholar, for instance, if they start the day at school, once they get back home, they will be completing like independent learning activities, kind of like a Wednesday. So they would not have to leave and then get back on Zoom with the teacher, because that teacher would then be teaching their next group of kids starting at 12 o'clock.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I followed
That's
directly.
a great question.
Mine go to Fatima. So I want to be sure that while I'm at work, I'm making sure that everything is being done correctly.
That was a great question. Thank you for
lifting that. And it's not a free day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for lifting that. London and Ms. Jefferson.
London.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, this is London Jefferson's mom. My son is in, well, he was in a self-contained environment. And when I spoke to his intervention specialist last week, she had told me that the schedule for him would be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday and Friday, 4 days. So now I came into the meeting a little bit late. So am I understanding now that classes will be a half day?
So the conversation that Ms. Brodnick probably had with you, or Ms. Barnett, probably Brodnick, was last week. We were still in limbo, but in our minds, it was like, oh, well, the district will work this out. So we had group cohort A coming Monday, Tuesday. We had cohort B coming Thursday, Friday. We looked at space in each of the rooms, and we had enough space to accommodate our 9 scholars, which London is one of those 9, which is why those special ed scholars were going to come all 4 days, full day. Now that we have not received the 3 teachers and had to pivot to this plan, he would just come on those half days like anyone else. However, in speaking with them to this morning at their orientation, there may be some days where Ms. Barnett or Ms. Brodnick or both need the group or certain members of that group to stay for extra support, and we will provide that. So that 9, it may be a little flexible. Obviously, we'll communicate with you beforehand, so it wouldn't be a situation where like on a Monday, London gets to school and we're like, oh yeah, we're keeping them. No, we'll make sure we communicate that with you. So obviously you can plan. But there may be flexibility with that 9 because they do receive additional supports based on their IEP.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Buddy, I apologize but I have another question.
Go ahead.
My children, Dravion has curb-to-curb service with his transportation. When I called about to see if Charles would be able to get on his transportation, they told me by me putting in that change form for him to be picked up from the daycare, it hadn't been processed all the way through. So the daycare, until the bus goes through, picks them up and drops them off, but they're not the only school that they go to. So they were basically they need exact timings on pickups, drop-offs, and things of that sort. How would I find that out until their transportation comes through?
So we do know there is a limited number of families, and you might be one of them, that we will need to provide, like as you just mentioned, specific drop-off pickup times for the whole week. We definitely you can see that for yourself now, or we can walk you through it tomorrow. So on our school website, we do have, and you'll see the tabs by grade level where you can see is exactly when they would start in the morning and when they would start in the afternoon. Okay. So we do have a meeting tomorrow with transportation to try to work through this schedule with them. It's a little easier for scholars in special ed that have curb to curb. Those that don't have curb to curb, for the most part, everyone else in middle school is having an RTA pass, walk-in, or parents are picking them up. So we do know that we have to work with transportation for the curb to curb scholars to get that schedule set. So right now you can visit the school website and you can see their name and the days and time for the whole week, but we can walk you through that tomorrow. And like I said, separate to that, we are meeting with transportation to see how we can work this out with them. It is an unusual request.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hello, hey, how you doing? I'm Jakaya Wiley's mom. I got a question because I came in late. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding. You saying that all the 7th grade scholars will be returning from Monday through Friday? Half a day?
Wednesday is still a full independent learning day. But definitely visit the website so you can see if like your scholar, like on Monday, for instance, would start with the AM group or if she would start with the PM group. So let's say on Monday, they have it slated for her to start with the PM group. She would just need to arrive by 12 o'clock. And then on Tuesday, she starts with the AM group. So they kind of flip flop PM, AM, PM, AM.
Oh, okay, like a schedule.
So
Okay,
just
which
look
website do I go on?
So our school website, clevelandmetroschools.org/Wade Park. And then under the scrolling banner, you'll see a link for hybrid learning.
Okay, Park.
Once you get there, click on middle school.
Middle school.
And definitely any parent that came on late, we are recording this. We'll post this within the hour. And then definitely, I know I'm already getting some text messages. That's fine. If you can reach out to us, definitely if your family has a particular, situation, because like I said, we know there are some families that we will need to see how we can work through some challenges. So please definitely, and my email is on the school website. Also, I'll just say this, most parents have my number. If not, you can get it now, 216-233-8441. Text is usually the fastest way to get a response. But definitely if your family's having a specific challenge with this modified schedule, please reach out. But like I said, I'll just say this. The reason we had this meeting really today was really to try to give some parents some time to see if they could work something out before next Monday.
Thank you.
The last thing I will say is scholars do have spring break. That has not changed. So they would start, let me just say this. So make sure you guys are looking at really our hybrid learning site. So we've had the calendar on there. It's also been included in the last 2 or 3 weeks, the Sunday parent email and phone call. So this week, y'all should know that scholars are totally off schedule because the district is giving middle school teachers time for professional development to get ready for hybrid learning. So this week, scholars really have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is independent learning time. So Thursday and Friday morning, teachers will have a quick check-in with them just to make sure that they know what they're supposed to do. But scholars do not have regular classes the rest of this week. So please just note that, and that definitely has been communicated in our Sunday emails. If you're not getting the Sunday emails, please let us know that. But every Sunday we send an email at a minimum every Sunday to you. So next week, the Monday, March 22nd, would be the first day of hybrid learning. So the 22nd through the 26th, and then kids are on spring break the 29th, and they don't come back until Tuesday, April 6th. All right, so this does conclude our meeting. If any parents want to stay on with any additional questions, we'll definitely stay on to get that. And then if you came on late, please just visit our website. We'll upload the video shortly. Thank you.